Hey, I'm AJ, and this is Power Publishing. Hey, Power Publishers, it's AJ today, and I'm here coming at you with a new lesson today, a new discussion. This is going to be a little bit longer, maybe, than some of the other ones because it's a very important topic, which is startup capital. How much money do you need to start publishing, and how much you need to give yourself the best chance to be successful? So, this is a big one, and I guarantee you it's not something most people think about when they think about starting to go into publishing. They just think about how do I get my game into people's hands? That's just the reality of it. And that's good, but we need to be thinking about this as a business because if we're going to go into publishing, we're starting a business. We're not just making a game. Okay, so let's just dive right in and talk about this. So, startup capital. This is how much money you're bringing to the table to start your business. Now, this is not unique to publishing board games. This is true for any entrepreneur, any business. And yes, if you want to start a publishing business, you are an entrepreneur. Congratulations. It's great. It is honestly like very it's actually very exciting to be the prospects of being your own boss, building something that you created, a business that serves other people, provides entertainment. That's an amazing thing. However, you are not alone. There are many others like you, like me, and many have come before, and many will come after us who all want to do the same thing, which is build a successful board game publishing company. And I'm so glad you're here because that means you are taking in this knowledge and learning from what I've done over the course of my career as a publisher. And you can speed up your curve and ramp to get to where you want to be faster by learning. You should be learning from others as well, not just me. Constantly be looking around and trying to increase your knowledge and know how of board game publishing. Now, the likelihood that you are bringing a lot of money to the table is probably pretty small. But who knows? Maybe some of you out there have had good fortune in other areas of your life or other jobs that you've had, and maybe you do have a lot of capital to perhaps invest in your company. If that's the case, that's great, and that could give you some advantages. But if you're like most of us starting out in this industry, you may be coming at this with maybe a little bit, maybe nothing at all, or maybe you have a decent amount, but it's not going to be quite enough to kind of just start and go at it without crowdfunding. So that's something to think about. Now, I have this axiom here on this page. You've probably already heard it. If you haven't, well, you're going to at some point because this is an axiom that has been perpetuated in this industry and specifically regarding publishing for a very long time. And that is, how do you make a small fortune publishing board games? Start with a large one. It's funny and I get it's probably a little bit tongue in cheek, but I need you in your mind right now to reject that notion. That is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it. And I did call bullshit on it, and I have done exactly the opposite of that, and you can too, which is I didn't even start with any fortune. I started with a very small uh, bit of cash that and capital that I have earned from my at that time corporate job. You have savings. I'm starting a family. There's not a lot of money to put into starting a new business if you're like where I was at, and probably where most folks looking to do this are at. These are most likely you're creative person. Maybe you're not the strongest business person, or maybe you are. But whatever you're wherever you're starting from, you are choosing to go into business. So we got to start talking about this as a business. Now, uh, this is still going to get perpetuated, but if you are going to buck that trend, then you have to do things differently. And I have a whole video on doing things differently from everyone else. And if you haven't seen that, you definitely need to go check that out. So let's kind of talk about this and how you are going to become and build yourself maybe a small fortune, maybe a large one, or maybe enough to support yourself and make this your livelihood, and maybe even support others.